everybody. Hey, everybody. Well, here's a vlog for a topic of discussion today. Topic of discussion extraterrestrials. I don't know if I've done this one before. Maybe I have. Maybe I'm doing it again. But how I would do if I was a group of extraterrestrials. First of all, extraterrestrial movies, they're always about invading Earth for some reason. So, of course, we're going to make the extraterrestrials invade Earth because, why not? But here's a few problems I have with extraterrestrials potentially invading Earth. First problem is why? Why would an advanced civilization waste its time on attacking and invading our planet Earth? Unless the advanced civilization was specifically wanting to conquer Earth for some resources that we have on our planet that they don't have. Or maybe just colonization. Who knows? But here's another thing, an advanced alien race, why would they be stupid enough to actually land to attack us? Just seems like they're advanced, have all this technology that is way better than us, yet they make themselves vulnerable by hitting us on our own soul. I mean, the number one rule for uh, guerrilla warfare tactics to use is home field advantage, right? So why would you attack a planet and give them home field advantage? An advanced race that's been conquering other races, planets, would and should be smart enough to not give other planets home field advantage. They would be smarter to orbital bomb. Now, here's first thing, an alien race should have enough technology to research and investigate the planet that they want to take. First of all, if they're actually trying to take planets just specifically for resources, they would be smarter to land on planets that are uninhabited, mine and drill for those resources, and then just leave. When they got everything they needed, just go. Why even bother with a planet that has alien life on it? Why would you want to even bother with that? First of all, that alien life could could have some diseases on them that would be harmful to your alien life. So we know from historically that Europeans, when they tried to invade Africa, the Europeans died because the African diseases affected the Europeans more. We also know historically that when the Europeans came to the new lands, Americas, the New World, that the natives got affected by the European diseases. So this is a particular problem. What if there's a disease on the planet that harms your alien race? Why would you want to go to that planet and invade? Exactly. You might bring a disease that kills them, but they might also have a disease that could kill you. It's a possibility. from intercultural exchange things. Now, also, again, like I said, orbital bombardment would be smart. And intelligence is like really, really smart. So, why go through the trouble? Now, if you wanted to secretly take over, I suppose it would make more sense to come down with a small group and infiltrate the humans and get into the highest powers of politics and offices of all over the world. Yes, that would make sense. And then to try to create something that would secretly terraform the planet to fit your people while secretly killing off the earthlings on the planet at the same time. That would make sense. Now, if you were a small race, that would make maybe more sense. But you have all this advanced tech to get to Earth and conquer it. Why do it traditional way? Why not do it a smarter, more tactical way? Is what I mean. Now, these aliens. These aliens. Now, here's a couple reasons why they might never show up. First of all, if aliens had advanced technology, they would have detected our radio waves way back when Alexander Graham Bell first created the telephone, right? And other people, Nikola Tesla, all these people who were dealing with all this electromagnetic currents and stuff. Now, from the early shows, before we even had television, we had radio programs. Now, one of our our radio programs were based off of books. The most popular books are horror books, and science fiction books. And the science fiction books, they basically have alien invasion and alien other type stuff. And then we have horror. Okay, so let's just look at this from a perspective of aliens not knowing the difference between reality and fiction, which they wouldn't necessarily know. The very first one of the one, this is historically documented too. There was a broadcast of a radio program play of the world War of the Worlds. It brought half of the United States to mass hysteria because the people listening to the radio broadcast, and these are humans, these are humans living on Earth in the United States of America, were listening to this radio broadcast and they thought it was real. Again, people listening to a radio broadcast of a play of the World of the Worlds thought it was real, and this is historically accurate. And we have the books, we have the technology or whatever, right? To know, we should have had the technology to know it wasn't real. We should have had the knowledge to know. Now, think about aliens from outer space, from millions of light years away. The first transmissions they're going to get from us are Morse code messages from the Western days. They won't have a clue what they mean, and they won't be able to figure it out. Then, when they finally can get voice messages, they're going to get voice messages of random people talking to each other, right? But they're also going to get news bulletins, and they're going to get radio. They're going to get music, yes. Songs, yes. but they're also going to get news bulletins, and they're going to get, which the news bulletins are actually historically accurate, maybe truthful, but they're also going to get radio programs. Radio programs based off of horror novels and science fiction novels. Example, again, I already gave you the War of the Worlds. Well, what about Dracula and werewolves and those kind of things? Those were highly popular radio programs. Then you also had highly popular radio programs that were basically Western shows, um, the whatnot. So even if they could, which they probably could eventually from hearing enough of dialogue, translate this Earth language, multiple Earth languages actually, but bear with me. Even if they could translate it, what do they see? Or what do they hear? They hear about a planet that is full of the past, the West, but also has monsters of supernatural origin, and it has been invaded by alien races before, and those alien races have gotten defeated. Usually because of some kind of disease. And other various news bulletins, because the very first news bulletins happened during World War One and then World War Two. So they're hearing about a planet that basically is in constant war, has crazy monster creatures of supernatural origin, and aliens previously invaded. They don't know that these aliens, these extraterrestrials from way millions of light years away that are finally hearing this stuff don't know the difference. They don't can't tell the difference between what is fiction and what is reality. Later, they finally start getting television broadcast programs, which is visual images of the sound images. First, they had sound images, now they're getting visual images. Well, they're getting visual images of what? Stuff that's on television. Okay, so what's on television? And what's at the movie theaters? Again, newsreel. The first TV images would have been newsreels, westerns. They don't family sitcoms, um, monster movies, horror movies, science fiction movies, and we have kept the same fiction shows going on, and we've also kept the same war shows going on. So how does these extraterrestrials know what is? How can they distinguish what is reality from what is fiction? They cannot. They don't even know that. They don't even know if the commercials are real or fiction. From the best they can tell is it's either true, a lie, or a historical documentary of something that did happen. And even these aliens, extraterrestrials from way far away, would understand that documentaries can be produced by different people and represent different perspectives of the same type of documentary. So they don't know. They honestly don't know. They don't know if this is fiction or true. To automatically assume it is fiction would be bad on a tactical perspective, and to automatically assume it was true would be a worst case scenario on the tactical front. So you're gonna so these extraterrestrials are looking down on from all the information they're gathering, from all the waves that finally reach them, they can assume that the planet Earth has a bunch of crazy stuff going on it, which might make them want to leave us alone just for the simple fact that they already got too much problems. We don't want to deal with weird monster, demon, vampire, werewolf creatures. We don't want to deal with giant monsters. We don't want to deal with a planet that's literally attacking us, attacking itself like all the time. What happens when they turn all that attack and unite? Because according to everything we've seen, every time aliens invade that planet, the whole entire world unites. They might be fighting each other, and they might go right back to fighting each other, but when aliens attack, they all unite for a minute and then, you know, stop. Then mythological creatures are all throughout movies where they have stuff about gods and stuff. So they're like, so like magic. So these creatures are like, these people have these divine protectors, plus they have these giant creatures, plus they have weird monster creatures that live all over the planet, plus they are constantly fighting each other, plus in some cases their dead come back to life. It's so much that the alien races are going to be like, no, I'm good. Now, okay. Now, suppose these aliens can filter out what is true and what is false. Well, now from a tactical standpoint, they know what is true and what is false, and they've literally been able to scan the whole entire planet. They know how many countries there are, how many languages there are, how many people there are, what kind of minerals we have, just from literally being able to scan the whole entire planet with their advanced scanning beams, and we don't even know they're up in the sky. We can't even see it. They could probably scan us from Mars, even further, maybe. So, say they could do that. This is the other option. They know everything about us. So, from a tactical standpoint, landing on the planet, sending an invasion force to go attack us, terrible move. What would I do if I was trying to take over a whole entire planet? Well, we know from scanning the planet, we know literally everything about everybody, which means we know the top 10. We know the literal top 10 countries, the biggest countries with the most powerful influence in the world. We know all 10 of them essentially have all their governments in a single orchestrated area. America, it's Washington, D.C. Russia, it's the Kremlin. England, it's London. Vatican is a spot. They might not understand that the Catholic religion isn't necessarily a. Then they Israel, Jerusalem, and they might notice that Jews all over the world have a big influence in a little bit of everything, and they might just use logic and tactical reasoning to say that Jews are a threat because of that. On the same note, they would use the idea that Catholicism is also big all over the world, and they would take that threat as the Vatican is a major player. On that note, also, they would probably assume that the big three, Muslims, are a major threat. Because there's Muslims all over the planet, and there are some, even though they're small countries, there are a lot of Muslim countries. So three of their major targets would probably be, from the religious perspective, would probably be Mecca, Rome, or the Vatican, and of course Jerusalem. Then again, your three biggest nations, and there all would be the United Kingdom, Russia. I'm going to add a couple of more nations for this matter of fact, but United Kingdom, Russia, the United States, and China. So yeah, China. Now, um, and there's probably a few other ones. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the targets of the capital cities of the major players and potentially hit the capital cities of minor players close to said major players. For example, if you attack China's capital city, you probably want to hit Japan's capital city and India's capital city because they're so close. If you hit Russia's capital city, you want to hit some in Europe again because they're so close. If you hit Rome, the Vatican, you want to hit some that are also pretty close to it. And if you hit again in Jerusalem, you want to hit places close to it. You might so and if you hit Washington D.C., of course you want to hit New York. You want to hit the other major players because again, in New York is where the United Nations is held. But so that's a prime target, of course. But you would also want to hit maybe a few other cities in America, like some of the major large cities all throughout America. And you might want to hit the Mexican capital city and the Canadian capital if you were aliens. So what you want to do is you want to get rid of all the major players' capital cities of where they run their governments. It's not that complicated. That's what you would do if you were an alien race. An alien race should be able to theoretically fire a nuclear like bomb to destroy a whole entire capital city from, heck, the moon or from even further, possibly, without there being anything for us human beings they actually do about it. They would just fire it, capital city would be gone, and essentially there's no government. So, what the alien race is going to do next? Well, again, enslaving humans, probably not their goal. Maybe, maybe not. If their goal is actually resources, then the leaving us to our own devices, it practically destroying each other because heck, half our planet just like our governments are all gone. Our three major religions are all gone, and so on. I mean, the center of our governments are all gone. The center of the major three religions are all gone. And various different cities all throughout the whole entire planet have just gotten basically blown up. Now, you see this done in like Independence Day, I think, but the problem is the ship literally lands and then shoots. I'm going, why would they get close enough to even show themselves? If they're advanced, they wouldn't even show themselves. It would be done before anybody even knew where it came from. And then they could just wait. Or they could send a secondary invasion fleet after the fact, which is pretty smart. Blow all that stuff up and then send a group of people. On one side, you're going to have crazy fanatics that believe the aliens are the new gods or whatever. And on the other side, you're going to have people who might fight against them, but practically have nothing but themselves to fight with against them. And they're already hurting. So, if you want to then conquer the planet, it's yours. You just come in, you claim it's yours, you tell anybody who doesn't want to follow, they're dead, and you just kill them off. It's not that complicated. So Extraterrestrials, if they really want to take over the world, that's how they do it. Any other way, stupid. But doesn't make great science fiction. Cool science fiction is watching Earthlings defeat alien creatures to save humanity. Alien creatures that are on a level playing field, which they would never actually be on a level playing field. They're advanced. They're not going to come over here and give us a level playing field. It's like the only way they'd come here and give us a level playing field is if, that's a small if, they were advanced but got stuck. So somehow, or they were fleeing their own planet and they were coming to our planet for as refugees because they're fleeing their own planet. Or on another side note, like an alien nation, they come here as refugees because they're actually a slave ship. And instead of getting to their destination, they crash on Earth. Which again means they don't really have any tech. They're a slave ship. They're basically transferring one group of slaves to another planet. The most they have are the weapons that would belong to the slave masters, so to speak. So they're slaves. Now, that's what the show Alien Nation has going on for it, basically. Yeah. So they're not going to come here because either one, they believe all the fiction lies that we've told, and they're just like, nah, we're good. Or two, it would be easier to take over a planet that doesn't have potential hostiles. So why bother with the resources? If you're trying to take over a planet for resources, why bother a planet that has something already on it? Just go after planets that don't have anything on it, mine them, take it over. I mean, whole entire idea that you try to terraform this planet Earth to fit your planet is ridiculous. Most sci-fi scenarios have the aliens doing something dumb, stupid, and just plain ridiculous because those groups of aliens just don't make sense. Anyway, that's the topic of the day: the science fiction aliens, extraterrestrials, whatever. At least my point of view from it, from a intellectual, logical perspective. I suppose you could have like a hive mind group of aliens that were a swarm type group of aliens that just are like locusts, so they eat everything they can, take it over, and then leave. But that type of alien group wouldn't be able to create the advanced technology of spaceships. They would just exist. And they would, by themselves, have to be able to withstand going through space like a spaceship themselves. Or they would just basically get on one ship and, travel throughout the universe, spreading their locust stuff. So that'd be when they would be killed. Wouldn't be advanced and intelligent. They would just be basically killing everything. If you're going to do something of that nature, just have them naturally already exist on this planet instead of having the idea that they're coming from another planet and boom, silly. Anyway, remember God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming. Keep on collecting. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus loves you. Jesus God. Jesus Lord. Jesus King. Jesus is ruler of everything. And have a great, wonderful day. And comment down below something you would like to see in the world. Yeah. Religion, history, politics, science fiction, fantasy, whatever. You name it. Later.